Hi, I'm Davina Shamaya, and today I would like to share with you some resources and tips for healing from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse. My number one resource is Pete Walker's book, Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving. This is, I feel like, the manual that everyone needs to have for healing. It's so useful. He's both a therapist and a survivor, and so he really understands the process both as from the inside out and from the outside in. Like he really understands it. He's also written this book, The Tao of Fully Feeling, also a wonderful resource to have. It goes in more detail about especially about grieving and just feeling feelings. And yeah, just, I mean, healing is basically feeling. So a third one here I have is a book on it's Healing the Adult Children of Narcissists. And how do I pronounce her name? Shahida Arabi. And this is also a wonderful manual. I think it's a well-written, researched book that really is organized well. And especially if you're just kind of learning about some of this stuff, it really goes into detail about a lot of the elements. Yeah, so those are some of the books that I recommend. As for other YouTube channels, I highly recommend Reid. I stumbled upon his channel a while ago and really have found it just invaluable. The way he describes it, the way he sort of describes it as, like these are the survival traits that you developed, and it's in a very compassionate, non-shaming way. And he's just very knowledgeable. He also goes into, a lot of the scapegoat things as well. So yeah, that's Reid. Also on YouTube, you can find Dr. Ramani. She's quite popular, so you've probably already seen some of her videos, I'm sure, if you're into, if you've been a victim of narcissistic abuse. So yeah, she's also a wonderful resource. We're here at number 6, ACA and ACOA, both basically the same thing: adult children of alcoholics and dysfunctional families. So yeah, you can go to, I think it's just like .org or something, ACA, adult children of alcoholics. And you can find meetings. I think they have Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, tons of meetings. Highly recommend that, because you'll find a community of people who, you can relate to. And, it's just a very safe place to, to be able to share and listen. And I also highly recommend ITR, which is In the Rooms, and it's an online community, and they have tons of meetings. They have AA meetings, they have ACA meetings, Al-Anon meetings. They also have a trauma and recovery meeting there, where they focus on Pete Walker's book. And so it's not Zoom, so that it's a beautiful part of it too, is that you can be completely anonymous. You can just be, in the audience. It's hard to explain, but you can be there and be completely, your face doesn't have to be seen or anything. It's only if you want to share that you're, popped up to the kind of share box there, and then you can, be seen, or even choose not to. Of course, you can always cover up your camera. So it's a very safe and anonymous place that you can go just to listen to meetings, or if you want to share or just learn or whatever. So that's ITR, In the Rooms. Another one, this is more like this is number 7, Yoga Nidra. And I've talked about it before, but this has just absolutely changed my life doing yoga nidra. I have another video on it, so if you want to check on that and see what all the benefits can be, but it really gets you in touch with your body, your true self, you know, God. It's just it's a beautiful practice to get into. And number 8, a feelings wheel. And I'm sure I've probably shown this in other videos, but this is the one I have. Yeah, it divides it into when your needs are being met, when your needs are not being met. And yeah, I sometimes just pull it out to say, like, how am I feeling today? Because sometimes I don't really know. And so I'll read over some words and, you know, see which one kind of seems to click. So it could be very useful, especially when we're not used to really identifying feelings. All we kind of know is like angry and happy. And, you know, so we can start to learn some vocabulary and start distinguishing different emotions. Number 9, this is more of my personal recommendation, but what's really worked for me in my life is creating simplicity and spaciousness and solitude, 3 wonderful S's. In terms, because this work is hard. And if you want to really devote yourself to it and dive into it, then you know, I feel like simplicity has really helped me in a lot. I have simplified my wardrobe. I have simplified my eating. You know, I'm on a 2-week rotating schedule of, you know, menu of food, so I don't have to think about these things. Yeah, I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear. I have, you know, have routines for things that are essentials, you know, like you know, cleaning my room or whatever. So I have all these things that are set in place so that, you know, the basics can be covered without a lot of extra thought and decision making, because that's not something that you need to add to when you're in recovery. And spaciousness is important too. I think you know, I really started to, I guess the other S is slow down, slow down and create spaciousness in your life. If you're busy going out and meeting friends and watching YouTube and, you know, just all the checking your Facebook page and whatever, you know, if you have a lot of distractions in your life, that's kind of addiction. It's kind of it's a secondary kind of addiction. And it will, you know, it basically is suppressing those feelings, and so the feelings won't come up because you're kind of busy. So we need to create that spaciousness and that time, so that those feelings feel like, okay, now it's okay to come up. And I guess the other S there is safety. I mean, you need to be safe. You need to be in a safe space to be able to start the healing process. If you're living with someone who's abusive, you might be able to start the process, but to really start to make some, you know, strides in your healing, you know, you need to get to a safe place. So that's, I guess, more S's than I thought. That's but anyway, safety and slow down, simplicity, spaciousness, and solitude. It's you know, we don't want to isolate ourselves, but, you know, it does take a lot of sitting. There's another S. Sitting and feeling. And you know, I certainly, you know, if you have a great friend that's able to hold your hand through some of it, that's wonderful. But a lot of it, I feel, is solitude kind of work. But that being said, number 10, I do also highly recommend finding a very trusted friend, trusted therapist, trusted coach, someone who is going to, and probably both, you know, if you have a friend, but you also need like a kind of mentor, someone who's been there, who can to be your guide, you know, and just make sure that these are safe people. And it, you know, it'll take a while to maybe discover that what's, you know, who's going to be safe for you. But it's really important that, you know, you're not being re-traumatized. You know, you're going to have some triggers, but you want that person to be, you know, basically a safe, trustworthy person. And number 11 is a bit of a, I guess, I say it with a smile, but tissues. This is a resource that you're going to need a lot of. Crying. I mean, as a highly sensitive person, I know for me, every feeling I have, I cry it out, you know, whether it's anger, hopelessness, fear, grief, you know, I'm just crying daily, like really daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And so I go through boxes and boxes and boxes of tissue. And if that's not environmentally friendly, then I guess get a handkerchief. But I just wanted to add that as a, you know, I guess a small bit of humor. But it is, yeah, it is. It takes a lot of feeling, and you'll have big. I'm sure if you're like me, anything like me, you're going to have big feelings to feel, because all that childhood stuff is now, you know, coming up to the surface. So you're a brave soul. You're a very brave soul for doing this work, and know that the work that you're doing, it creates ripple effects in the tapestry of life here. So just want to let you know that. So I hope that was helpful in terms of some resources for you. And if you have any questions or comments, I'm always open to hearing them, feedback. And I thank you all for listening, and I'm wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I'm Davina Shemaya at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.